is Laura Brandenburg from Bridging the Gap, and I wanted to answer a question that I received. I've received this a few times. BAs coming up to me and saying that they've received this negative feedback in their job and they're not really quite sure what it means. And that feedback is that you're too business oriented. And they're like, hey, you tell us all the time that we need to really engage with the business and understand what they want and what they need. Like, how can I as a BA be too business oriented? How does that work? I don't understand. And, it's really interesting feedback because as business analysts, we do serve the business, right? We do want to help shepherd in their requirements and solve their problems. But can we really kind of go over the top? And what I really think this means for a BA that's too business oriented or is receiving that feedback, right? Where feedback always tells us both something about ourselves and something about the person giving the feedback. But what this says about that situation is that the person giving the feedback really has a big appreciation for the technical constraints and the project constraints. And it might be that, you're doing a great job of understanding what the business wants and the business needs, but you're not understanding that maybe we have 3 months to do this project and what you're offering would take us 6 years, right? Or 3 years or a year, whatever. And so it's not feasible in the constraints of the project or with the budget we have or the timeline we have. I think that what typically is meant. And I've done this before. I've gotten to the point where I'm really passionate about either a specific aspect of my business community or a specific business need that I've taken over almost as a sponsor. And when I start to do that, I start to forget that this has to get prioritized against other things. It may not be the most important thing to the business. It may not be the most important thing organizationally. I've got to shuffle this in and fit this in with all these other priorities. But I kind of get dialed into this one thing, and I almost go to bat for it, right, all the time. And I feel like I'm constantly fighting to have this project, this thing, this idea receive some resources. And that is really what it's like. It feels like, I think, when you're too business oriented. So what do you need to do? Part of this is really understanding that being a business analyst is not just receiving information from business stakeholders and putting it into the requirements. That is our job, but it's not our job, right? Our job is to help them truly solve their business problem. And it may not be the thing that they come to us with in the first place. It may not be the 10 things that they want. It might be the one most important thing that they want. Because if we're going to bat for 10 things and only 1 or 2 of those things is really important, we're not going to get the most value out of the implementation resources we have, the changes that we're able to make. We'll be working on these bottom feeder things that aren't really adding a lot of value to the business. And then we won't really have done our jobs as business analysts. So, which is really to maximize the value that we get out of the implementation of the technology and the business process change and all the changes that go into our projects. So first, you got to understand that real problem to be solved, right? You've probably heard me say that before. You're going to hear me say it again. It's so important to what we do. And then you're going to help the business prioritize what they want. So if they come to you with a list of 10 things, not all 10 things are equal. Let's rank them. Let's sort them into 3 groups of high, medium, and low. Let's do something so that we know what's most important, and then help them advocate for the things that are truly, truly important in their business to solve that problem. But you can't advocate for everything, right, that they may want or desire or think that would be a good idea. If you do that, that's where that too business oriented comes from. You're not actually helping us add more value. You're just kind of telling us all the things that the business wants. And you've got to realize that there's technology constraints here as well and project constraints here as well. We can't do everything for everyone. So we've got to focus on the most valuable pieces. And that's really where the BA starts to become part of the negotiation and the facilitation process. So really helping your stakeholders prioritize is a big part of it. And also getting in the middle of facilitating those discussions between the business and the technology team. So, and in my last video, I talked about what to do when a developer pushes back or when the tech team pushes back on you. And it's kind of the same thing, but that part of it is understanding their constraints, like their legitimate, true constraints around the project and what's feasible, what is possible, what are some of the possible solutions to this problem. And when you start to do that and you start to be on both sides of the conversation, not just the voice of the business, jamming a bunch of requests down the throats of IT, that's when the magic happens, and that's when we really start to show up and add a lot of value as business analysts, because now we're part of all the conversations, not just what the business side of the conversation, but the business, the project, the tech team, QA team, right? We're facilitating that, and we're making sure the most valuable work gets done with the limited time and resources that we have. So if you've received that feedback, I hope this video helps you understand why you might have received that feedback and what actions you can take going forward to be both business-oriented and solution-oriented. Again, this is Laura Brandenburg from Bridging the Gap, and we help mid-career professionals get started successfully in business analyst careers. So happy to be here and talk to you again soon.